Okay, let's start. Hello, we are from Group 4. The topic of our group discussion today is online events. Online events can be defined as an event that involves people interacting in an online environment on the web, rather than meeting in a physical location. Online events work using technology specifically designed to replicate the event experience online. The minimum technology stack required includes an internet connected device such as computer, phone, tablet, laptop with a camera, microphone, and a specialized software installed. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, universities have resorted to conducting online events such as online conference, online language camp, online campus election, and etc. However, this comes with some drawbacks which need further investigation and improvements. Before the discussion starts, I'm going to introduce my group members who are Eva, Anis, Aisyah, Ainaa, Nadrah, and me, Eng. At first, as a program director, the first issue that was arise was financial issues. I believe our treasurer, Eva, have something to talk about this issue.
All right. Thank you, for addressing the financial issue faced during conducting this online event, which is, in our case, we have conducted a talk show. So, first and foremost, I, as the treasurer, am the one who oversees all the financial transactions and fundraising efforts going in and going out of our organizing committee. So basically, my duties include budget planning, financial reporting, record keeping, managing incoming and outgoing funds. So, all right, let me continue talking about the financial issue that we have experienced. So, at an early stage of financial planning, which is also what we call as budget planning, unfortunately, our expected income was lesser than our expected expenses. So, what it means here is that we were going over budget. So, what we need to do is we have to cut down our expenses. And so, we need to find sponsors to help fund our event, as well as support our event to get more attendees, since we all know that sponsorship is the key to powerful marketing, right? So, however, finding sponsors is not as easy as it seems, and it is very, very challenging, I must say. Finding sponsor, though, can be like trying to get hired for a job. Some of our proposals will be rejected and get no response at all, and that is what we expect. Since, yes, I have mentioned just now, it is like trying to get hired for a job. So, speaking of my experience while trying to get a sponsorship, I did send out emails for sponsorship to many companies, such as I can say I did send emails to Hits FM, ML Studios, TEDx, Jor FM, and Suara Johor Sendirian Berhad, and many more. I couldn't mention each one of them, but most of them just ghosted me and did not even send me any replies. Though some do replied with replies that sounds like this. Due to COVID-19, we have taken a huge financial hit and are trying to cut expenses everywhere. So, therefore, convincing them to sponsor our event needs extra effort and a lot of patience, since it is indeed time consuming too. So in the end, we do manage to receive sponsorship from Era FM, which is very fortunate. And that was successfully done by firstly preparing a sponsorship prospectus that explains the vision for our event and what we have planned to achieve, who will be attending our event, what we are doing to make our events stand out from similar events, and we offer them something that is beneficial to them too, since we all know that sponsorship has to be a give and take relationship. So we offer them to put their logo at every posters, flyers, and video promotions, and we gave them assurance that um, we can attract more students to listen to their radio show through our event. Since our target audience is students all over the Malaysia. So I think that is all from me. Do you have anything to add as the program director?
Okay, thank you, Eva, for the explanation. I totally agree with the points that you were stated just now. As a program director, I have one point to add on regarding the financial issue, which is selling our event merchandise. Even though getting sponsors is essential to our event, we also have an alternative way to earn the funds, which is to sell our event merchandise, such as tote bag, lanyard, t-shirt, and badge. The purpose of carrying out these activities is to earn money for our event expenses. However, the problem that we met is the sales of our event merchandise did not hit the target that we expected. Therefore, the sales were not enough to cover the expenses of the activities. So I think one of the reasons was the people are not trusted with the program that we conducted online. This is because before the pandemic COVID-19, there is only a few activities that conducted by online. And the world nowadays is full of trips. And when we promote our merchandise, they will think this is a trick and this is a scam, and our program does not really exist, so they choose to ignore us. The second reason I think is the income of many people are also affected during this pandemic. This is because both of us are forced to stay at home and rest, and some of them even lost their job during this movement control order. So people are become more wisely when they spending their money. They are not willing to purchase the things other than that needed. So in order to make sure our program and events can be conducted successfully and smoothly, our committee has discussed and come out with some improvement and solution. The first step is we decide to choose and change the type of our event merchandise products. The products and items that we select are more on the daily use or daily consumes, such as toothbrush, towels, biscuits, breads, and etc. This is because people rather choose to purchase the things that they needed, as I mentioned previously. Second step is we have attracted more sponsorship by streaming and inserting the online advertisement during our online events. I think this is a win-win situation since the sponsor have successfully promote their products or services through online, while we also obtain more money for our event expenses. By applying these two changes, luckily our event can be conducted more smoothly. I think that is all for me. As a public officer, what do you think about it, Nadrah?
Okay, thank you for
giving me a chance to point out my sharing. Before I continue with my sharing, I would like to briefly talk about my job scope. I am a publicity officer who is in charge of publicizing and promoting the activities that we conduct, such as sharing session, Entrepreneur Day, Election Day, and many more. And I also responsible for letting students know and be aware of the activities that we do, so that the events that will have more audience. Okay, back to you, Hans' question. From my standpoint, yes, I agree with you, Han. The publicity give advantage to increase sale of the merchandises. The more we promote our merchandise, the more students will know about it, and the more students will be interested with the merchandise. Mm, if it is a physical event, we can promote the merchandise at every faculty, night market, or food court, which is the places that have students around. However, promoting and publicizing during online event become very challenging because we need a bigger connection to spread out the news. Even though we just use social media, we can get many participants. But to get many participants, the social media needs a lot of followers and likes so that the news can reach to each student perfectly. Um, I can say that it is a tough work to have engagement with people in virtual life rather than in physical life, because the way we communicate is not the same. So I think if we use publicize using an online platform, students tend to miss out the event date because they are not very aware with the details of the event. Uh, Most probably because of they are busy and packed with the schoolwork, and mm, also the details are not so significantly remembered by them. And for the as a publicity officer, we need to always share, always post the posters and the details so that the student can aware that we are going to have the activities. Mm, Other than that, publicity also have problems like reaching the targeting participant, because students are not preferring joining online program. They say that it is too boring for them. So uh, uh, because I think why they are say that it is boring because this is virtual platform only. So to make our event more merrier, we need to have an invitation of panel so that the student will be more interested in our event. I believe Aisyah, who is in charge of invitation of panel, have some words to add according to my last opinion. What do you think about it, Aisyah?
I agree with your explanation, Nadrah. As the public relation officer, the person who is responsible for all the communication, public relation, and public affair in an organization, who will handle the team to strive to set an appropriate image for the company's brand among its audience. Based on the Nadrah explanation, invitation panels can also be one of the factor of participants' involvement in online event. The panel invited will enliven the on-live program. There are the number of difficulties in managing invitation of panel for the event. Based on my experience, the delay in getting approval from superior is one of the challenges in handling this task. If the process of approval from the top management is slow, so that the next step in inviting the panel cannot be proceed or cannot be carried out in an orderly manner. In addition, finding a competent panel in line with the program is quite difficult because of a few reasons, such as the invited panel is limited to their schedule. In some cases, unexpected event happen and a new invitation panel should be done immediately, and the approval process must be done promptly. In order to overcome this problem, integrated communication and expanding relationship are important to ensure that the program can run smoothly. Supervisor must always be on track in approving the letter of invitation, which is the process of providing the program information to the panel invited. So, based on my explanation, I think it is similar to the role of protocol. What do you think about it, Anis?
Thank you very much, Aisyah. All of your explanations are fantastic, I must say. The protocol officer's major responsibility, in my opinion, is to create the events request order, RO, regulate the time restriction during the ceremony, and supervise the invited guests during the event. So, protocol officers frequently confront difficulties in situations involving panels or invited guests for virtual events, just like Aisyah mentioned before. So first, there's the issue of managing the panels during the event. This is due to the fact that some of the panelists are less experienced with the event's applications used, such as StreamYard, OBS, so on and so forth. As a result, there will be disturbance during the event, and it will not operate smoothly. The best way is to make sure that everyone involved attends a scheduled rehearsal to ensure that everything is ready to go before the event starts. Then, the second problem is the challenges with delays caused by unforeseen occurrences. This is a prevalent issue when unexpected events occur, such as power outages or other emergencies. The solution is to schedule an early time for the panel's last preparation before the event. Typically, 15 minutes before the event, the officer will ask the panel to prepare and do a final review. This will ensure that the ceremony goes off without a hitch and that fast action may be taken. For example, at a program in which I served as a protocol officer before, one of the invited panelists had a family emergency. So luckily, we were able to take action to inform the public that the program would be rescheduled again due to an emergency because of the initial preparations ongoing. So that's there to it from a protocol officer's perspective. So the technical officer, I believe, have something to say. Would you like to express something about the technical aspect of online events, Ainaa?
Thank you, Anis, for giving me the opportunity to express the technical aspect of online event. So let me briefly explain my scope before I share my perspective as technical officer. A technical officer is responsible for controlling the application during the event running. With the cue given from the protocol officer, technical officer is the one who will manage the panelist's turn to stop. And yes, I agree with Anis. Usually delays happen due to technical issues. For example, internet connection. When it comes to online program, internet connection is very important, especially to technical officers. This is because the technical officer is the one who has the control while the program is running. That is why having an excellent internet connection is a must for controlling for technical officers. If they don't, that will cause lagging and they will face a problem to control the stream and platform. The improvement that can be taken is to run the stream during different weather to make sure that the internet connection is ready to use. The other issue is the panel's lack of knowledge on using the application. This actually happened once when I was a technical officer for a college program. I have already explained to them how to use the application, during rehearsal, but the panels are likely cannot do their best to control the application from their side. This is because some panels are somewhat aged and they don't have exposure to IT. That is why we need to explain in detail to them how to run the application. But another problem is it is an online program, so it is difficult to explain to them how to use the application. So what we can do is to teach them how to use it in detail and rehearse many times to make sure that they really can run the application without any problem. All the issues can be avoided if technical officers are prepared early and do a lot of practice. I think that's all from a technical officer point of view.
Thank you, Ainaa, for your splendid explanation. We as students really can relate to the difficulties about handling online event because we are the generation that is facing learning through online platform. Thank you everyone for pointing out your sharing throughout this discussion. I hope we can overcome this pandemic situation so that we can back to the physical activities as usual as we used to. That's all from Group 4. Thank you.